Hey everyone, so as you see, I'm outside. I just can't be inside any longer, and it's such a pretty day. I just had to come out and just look around and get some fresh air. So we've been working on standard 4MDA3, apply the area formula for rectangles in mathematical problems. We're going to step that up, and we're going to use that same method in order to find the formula for rectangles in real world problems is our next step. So looking at our problem above, the park in Alyssa's neighborhood had new equipment and play areas added. The picture below shows part of the park. The new playground space has a length of 8 yards and an area of 48 square yards. Attached to the playground is a square sandbox. The width of the sandbox is half the width of the playground. If we look over here, we see that we have the length, but we do not have the width. So we've got to figure out what the width is. So thinking about that, let's go ahead and ask a question. What is the width of the playground? What would we do in order to solve that? So please answer the question. Now that you've figured out what the width of the playground is, we can then figure out what the width of the sandbox is. So it says here, the width of the sandbox is half the width of the playground. So take what width you found for the playground to find the width of the sandbox if the width of the sandbox is half the width of the playground. Go ahead and answer that problem now. Okay, now you've found out that the width of the playground and the width of the sandbox. I want to read a certain part to you again. Attached to the playground is a square sandbox. What do we know about squares? What is special about squares? Could what we already know about squares help us to find the length of the sandbox since we already know the width of the sandbox? Answer that question now. What do we know about squares to help us find the length of the sandbox? Now, Alyssa was wondering about the area of the sandbox. Now that you know the width and you know the length, let's use this time and this space to help us to figure out what the area of the sandbox is. Answer your question now. Y'all did awesome today. This is a new program and it's called EdPuzzle, and I'm hoping you like it. I thought I'd give it a shot. Thanks.